going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So still don't have any parts, obviously. It's only been a couple days, but I'm gonna attempt to put one of these Hall effect sensors in. I don't know much about them, and never really wired one up to the Mega Squirt before. This is a MS3 Gold Box, so I'm not too sure on how good or if it can take it, but as per the manual it says couple things, so we'll just follow the manual and go through that. But we're gonna take off the back tire there. Actually, I already did it. We'll go take a look at that. I don't know if you guys can see much, but it's pretty dark under these fucking parts. So anyways, we took the back wheel off. We're left with obviously a 5 stud Moser axle. And on the back side, it's got this bracket here to accommodate these, what are these, SSBC brakes or some shit like that. But anyways, on this bracket here, these studs actually are screw out studs. So I screwed the stud out and then marked around the stud on the back of this plate. Now I'm going to take this plate off and then we'll drill this hole out, and then the Hall effect sensor will slide through the back side, and then jam that in the front and the back, and then we'll get it to read off the back of these wheel studs. So I know nothing about this, so if you guys are following along and watching, if you have any tips or tricks about doing these Hall effect sensors, let me know. And yeah, so I'll get back to you when I get this bracket off and start drilling the hole. All right, got a hole drilled on the back side. I just V'd out a little notch there for it to kind of go by. And you can see on the front side, so the sensor will slide in there. Put a jam nut front back, and I got a cheapy one coming on Amazon, but then I did order one from the States, which is actually a drive shaft speed sensor, but it just probably renamed that. Does the same thing as a wheel speed sensor. You can use them for anything. So yeah, that's all drilled up. So that sensor should be here Tuesday, so we'll get that in there and then put this back on and run some test wires and fucking hope for the best, and we'll see how it goes. I got my wire inside already run inside. I already got my, see, my harness is all tucked away up in here. I already got my wire pinned out right here, ready to go. I mean, the Mega Squirt, it's just as powerful, has lots more features than the Holly. The only problem is you're only left with one input and one output after you're done running the V8. So that way, you know, for building the drag truck, it will kind of limit you to what you cannot put for sensors. Turn this light off. Things like that. But then again, it's 350 bucks, I think, for the board. I mean, the whole kit's probably about 900 bucks. And it's going to do exactly what I needed to do. If the truck grows and things like that, and we get bigger and faster, then yeah, we'll probably upgrade to a Terminator. Probably won't even do that. Probably just jump right to a Dominator for the ability to have drive shaft speed sensor, front speed sensor, rear speed sensor, you know, angle shock sensors for, you know, wheelie control and all that good stuff. But we ain't there yet. We're just trying to get this thing running and get her down the track for a couple passes. But yeah, so anyways, we'll hop back into the video when I get the sensor put in, and hopefully we can get it working. On a side note, I did get while I'm waiting for the fuel pump, I got the 40 amp, I got a 40 amp relay wired in to my switch power board there. My main power comes off a fused 30 amp right here, and then I ran a wire down there to the pump, and I also tied into my TPS signal wire. I ran that wire down underneath the truck from the ECU back up and comes out, goes from the ECU from here down there, and it'll go back to the pump. The pump has control features built into that brushless motor on that pump. So that's done. This is my trans brake wire here, ready to go when the tranny goes in. But yeah, that's all done. So when the pump gets here, it's the only missing part. Bolt that in, put 2 fit-ins on it, and then run the return line, and that, and Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt, and that's all done. So, well guys, I did a thing, and it's a good thing. I managed to get my Hall effect sensor installed on the back corner on the driver's side tire for recording the speed of the drive tires. So that's good. The wiring went really easy. I've never done it before, never played around with Hall effect sensors like I was saying before, but yeah, so I got that one in, and I just actually finished installing a front one. I didn't know I had the space in the Mega Squirt. It turned out I did a bit more research, and I did. There's another input that you can use, and it's table switch in on the MS3 Gold Box. There's 4 you can use: nitrous in, table switch in, data log in, and I think there's one more, but I can't remember the name of it. But there is 4 you can use. The other 3 I'm using, well, the other 2 I'm using for my bump box and things like that. But anyways, I managed to get the sensors installed, and they are working. I just finished building up the wiring harness for the front one. I was really intimidated when I started this, because you watch the internet and you listen to these videos on these sensors, and apparently you got to add a resistor here and twist over the power and the negative, but it didn't end up being that way. It ended up just being a nice straightforward install, power, ground, and signal wire. So I'm pretty stoked about that. The back sensor is working like a charm. I mean, we'll find out when we get on the street and see what it records and if it is recording. But like I said, I just finished up the front one. Pretty stoked on it. I'll show you guys that right now. So the back plate, or the dust shield you want to call it, I guess you could say, for the disc brakes up front on the S10. The only spot, I mean, pretty narrow brakes up there. The only spot I could put it was right there in the shroud. So I built a little wiring harness to come off of it. Loctite, got a lock washer on there. So I'm praying to God that that doesn't come off, but guess we'll have to see. And then yeah, I just built a little harness to go up the frame rail. I got my ground. We'll just put it on the frame. Should do just fine. And then I got my power wire, which will run up to switch 12-volt power, which I have a board or one of them blocks on the firewall. And then obviously the third wire is going to be your sensor wire. So this would go to the Mega Squirt. I didn't have any of these, and this is why I didn't think about even installing a front speed sensor. And rummaging through the truck the other day, doing a couple things inside, and I was cleaning out with a vacuum, and I looked, and sure as shit, I had one more of these that I had cut off for some reason sitting on the floor. So I mean, it's a good thing I found it, because now it gives me the ability to be able to put this sensor in. These fucking pins from Mega Squirt, you can't get them. You can only buy the whole plug, and it comes with 32 of them, but it's like 90 bucks. Oh, I just need a couple pins, right? They don't sell them individually, and I don't know what style these are, and I've done a bit of research and I can't find out much about them. But anyways, got lucky on that, so that's good. So yeah, now I'm going to throw this in the truck and put it all up in there, and then I'll clean up, and then I'll show you guys on the computer side of things how to do it, just in case anybody else out there is watching and you have a Mega Squirt. I'll kind of give you a rundown on how to reprogram into the ECU and onto the Mega Squirt app or the Tuna Studio MS on the computer. So yeah, I'll get onto that and I'll be right back with you guys once I get this installed. So, fully done. All wired up, all tucked away nice and neat. All the wiring's good to go, front to back. So I'll show you guys on the Mega Squirt Tuna Studios MS Ultra how to set those up. If you are running that, it could be helpful, right? I'm sure you Holly guys have got all your own stuff figured out, but this is for you Mega Squirt guys, if there's anybody still left out there. So we'll hop right into that. I'll show you guys that front sensor, how it ended up turning out. So garage is a complete fucking disaster right now, but I'll show my light on here. So you can't really see anything, right? Obviously I showed you guys the back side of the sensor there. You can see it tucked away. So I ran the wire up, gave myself some slack here. I left this loose so we could play with turning and stuff. Wire runs up, round, up here, goes to switch 12 volt power on my board right here. This is all covered in with this cover here. Once we're done all this wiring, I put my ground here. Hopefully it's good enough. If not, I'll extend this wire and ground it to the block. Should be just plenty enough for the sensor. Signal wire goes inside, pinned into the number 11 spot on the gray plug. So yeah, it's all working out. So I'll show you guys on this Tuna Studios how it works. So you load up your Tuna Studios, plug it into your truck obviously, roll the key to the on position, go up here to advanced engine, speed and gear sensors, and it opens up this option menu here. Speed and gear sensors, it says. You got vehicle speed sensor 1, vehicle speed sensor 2. Vehicle speed sensor 1, VVS1 type input, digital, obviously due to the Hall effect sensor. Your input that you're using, data log in, like I had discussed before, there is 4 you can use. You enter your tire diameter or your wheel size. It's in inches here. Down in the bottom corner you can preferred speed units, preferred length units. So yeah, you just enter in that tire size, and then it gives you 4 options here from VVS position / type. We got wheel, driveline, pulses per mile, pulse per kilometer. I'm using the wheel obviously. Speed sensor, number of teeth pickup, so 5, because I got the 5 lug right going on there. Smooth factor, it starts at 50, so I just leave it there. Obviously when we get the truck out on the road, we'll play with that and see how the numbers react and see if we can get an accurate reading, drive beside someone. And then obviously for the front speed sensor, wheel speed sensor number 2, same thing, digital. Obviously the input's different, so I use table switch, which is pin number 11 on the gray connector plug. Same thing, tire size, where it is, number of teeth pickup. Burn that into the ECU and piece of cake, away you go. And here is my front speed sensor speed up here, and then the main one is going to be off my back tires. Obviously this is just more for data logging at the track and kind of things like that, and see what the difference is down track or things like that, right? So it just gives you more options into reading your data once you're done a run. So that's nice. So I'm really stoked about that. Really stoked about that actually. Turned out a lot better than I thought it was gonna. Really easy. I mean, I watched a lot of videos online and I kind of got in my own head and thinking it was going to be a little bit more difficult than it was, but it turned out just fine. I mean, you just simple power grounding your signal wire to your ECU. I mean, there's some situations where you need to put a resistor, or you need to, as per the diagram on the what do you call it, on the Hall effect sensor, you got your power, you got your negative, and then you take your load and you tie it into your power. But I believe that's when you don't have a certain type of Hall effect sensor and it needs a magnet to pick up the end. So it'd be more like a proximity sensor or whatever. I can't even say that fucking word. It's 12 o'clock here and it's -30 and I'm tired. But anyways, happy about it, stoked. So that's another project done on the truck. So look forward to moving on to the next one, and hopefully the next one's going to be a little bit more action and more fuel pump and reassembly of the engine. Head gaskets are coming in here next week, so we can get put the engine back together, get it all buttoned up. Hopefully she'll hold some fluids this time, and we can turn the key and give her a run. Make sure we've got good oil pressure and all that good stuff. So yeah, looking forward to that. Stick around and make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.